Hello and welcome everyone to a new episode of Score Sheet, to Score Sheet 2017, to Sunday, the 1st of January 2017. To all our dear viewers, first, congratulations. Have a very happy new year, inshallah. And we promise that Score Sheet is going to continue, if not better. It's going to be at least introducing the best we have, introducing the best we do know about sports all over the world. We are going to focus on our local and regional arenas, but we are not going to deprive our viewers from what's going on all over the world. We decided to dedicate this episode, or to continue with this episode, with what we have started last week, with big names in the world of sports in 2016. And we are very much delighted to have with us our sports analyst, who is going to speak with us about these names in this very special episode, Mr. Muhammad Misbah. Hello.
Hello. Happy New Year for everybody. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And as I said, we are going to continue what we have started last week. We do have a lot of names, so we are going to start immediately. And our very first name is going to be Mohamed Salah. In my humble opinion, I'm speaking about one of the rare ambassadors of Egyptian football in the European leagues. And I do consider Salah this kind of an ambassador, not only because he is that much talented, but because of his ethics, of his morals, of his way of dealing with the surroundings, dealing with people, of being that humble, of all his characteristics. If you want to elaborate on Mohamed Salah.
You are exactly right. When we are talking about Salah, you mentioned a very unique and special name. He's an ambassador. And if you're talking about ambassador, there's a lot of reasons making Salah in this position. Salah, first, he's attached to the football, or he's a football player. And at the end of the day, we are talking about sports, everybody's seeing it. And everybody talking about it. So the game itself, making him an ambassador, popular ambassador, it's different between ambassador like someone in a famous country or someone's unknown country. But he's in a famous country as well. He's in Italy. Italy in Europe is, or at least the Italian league is one of the best three leagues in Europe. So that makes him connected to the people. People know him, media talking about him, a lot of news about him.
But this did not spoil him.
Exactly.
And this is it.
Exactly.
And moving from Fiorentina, from Basel, Fiorentina, Chelsea, and now in AS Roma, this does not mean that it was a rosy life for him.
Yes.
He suffered a lot and he had a lot of problems, but this did not affect his mentality, his mental, physical fitness,
that's true,
his ethics, his way, as I said, of dealing with the surroundings. How do you see his moves?
Very simple. Mohamed Salah have a dream. Mohamed Salah have an objective, and he's working for that. And I can consider him as a mature person. He's a person is trying to deal with a different environment. From the experience, it's tough to travel to all those countries, but you can settle your environment there, and you can perform, and you'll find a lot of positive things. Yes, there is a homesickness and all that, but we can't forget that there the environment is ready, the professional environment, the training time, the equipment, everything is organized. That's Mohamed Salah is smart enough that he utilized that, and he's a family person. Recently, there is an article about him in the Italian magazines, and they're saying that he's a very committed person. He's just going out at a specific time, going to the mosque, and after that, he's going to the training time. Very organized, very systematic, and he lives a very simple life. He has two cars, one for the small things and the other when he's going with the family. So he knows what he's doing.
He has priorities.
Yes, exactly.
This is how I feel. He has priorities, even to the extent that when he reached a specific stage, for example, he I know that he is not going to be that happy to hear this, but he was that keen to donate 5 million Egyptian pounds to his country, and to do a lot for his very tiny village in the countryside. So he is all the time having connections with people in Egypt, and he has never forgotten that he comes from this land.
And the interesting about Salah that he's a person, when you go deeply in his profile, he's a person believing in time. For example, in the airport, I don't think that everybody knows that Salah is reading motivational books and books about management. And a lot of, I can say, a photographer captured a picture for him reading for Stephen Covey about management and for success. So this person is interested to make success in his life, and he's thinking in, I can say, scientific way to do that.
And this is exactly one of the main reasons behind his success.
Yes.
By the way, we are talking about someone who is that young till the moment. He started that early, and he started from Al-Muqawlun Al-Arab, the Arab contractors, not from Al-Ahli or from Al-Zamalek, and he was, I think, about 20 or less than 20.
Less than 20.
Less than 20.
This is actually, this is for us, is a good ambassador. We need to utilize him. We need to make him as a good example for others. And I think he is a treasure. We can get a lot of value for him, plus his contribution with our national team recently, because he started to contribute. Our comment before about Salah, that he's making a lot of success, but where is the contribution to the national team itself? And recently he did.
Before leaving Mohamed Salah, since you've mentioned his role in our national team, also I don't know why I feel that there is all the time now a pressure on Salah more than any other body, as if he should be the maestro and as if he should be the one who is responsible for harmony among the players.
That's
despite
true.
the fact that you are going to find more experienced if we are going to go to age, to the age category.
Like Abdullah Saeed and Hussam Ghali. And
a lot. Hussam Ghali, 2 weeks ago, he turned 35.
Yes.
So, happy birthday, by the way. But this does not mean that Mohamed Salah is not that pressured.
Yes.
With or against first, and if this is going to be for the best interest of him and of our national team or no?
I don't think this is something healthy, because you can see his body languages in all matches, especially in Nigeria match, for example. He was very stressed, and this something is not healthy. At the end of the day, the message should be different. He's not a hero, he's a player, and this will support him to achieve, and he didn't reach the position that we can rely on him 100%. This something is very important, because from the psychological perspective, it's the best mood to achieve in the normal mood.
Yes.
Like you're not so excited and you don't feel down.
Yes.
This is a normal mood that the person achieves. So we shouldn't put him. We should motivate him, but we shouldn't put him in such pressure every time we are playing, because at the end of the day, we have another good player we can rely on. And I think the second name you'll come to, he will be under pressure as well.
Yes.
Because he and Ramadan Sobhi, everyone waiting the magic from them. So it's something, And I have a point about Salah that I think till this moment we can get a lot from him. We can utilize him better. Not only in the football one and not in cash one, I mean that he's just donating money. No, he can play a different role in, I can say, polishing the company name and reputation outside. And I like what he did when we have a conflict with Italy. He was a silent one, but even he can move from a silent to a positive one in that. I'm not talking about politics, but I'm talking about branding for the country. And this is what a lot of countries are doing,
Sure. Before we go to our second name is Ramadan Sobhi. But here I should assert the fact that we do have a lot of good, brilliant names when it comes to our professionals, but we are taking some samples, if I may say so, but with all our respect to Nini, to Hamoudi, to Trezeguet, to Abdel Shafi, to Amr Warda, we do have a lot of names, but we are just taking samples, as we do have a lot of other names in other sports. Ramadan Sobhi.
Ramadan is a talent,
And why I've chosen Ramadan Sobhi to be our second name, you are talking about a 20-year-old guy.
Yes.
And to start that early, this is a phenomenon, or this is a privilege in itself. How do you see Ramadan Sobhi as an experience? I mean, a professional experience, and his choice to start it from now.
First, a lot of people talking negatively about Ramadan because he's playing for Stoke, and it's not a popular club there and all that. From my opinion, what Ramadan doing now is the right decision. Ramadan getting the life experience in such a country. London and UK is overall, it's very tough. It's more tough than Italy or Belgium and such countries. So he's in a very tough country in terms of stress, in terms of media and everything. It's not the center of Europe, but it's one of the hardest places to live in terms of environment itself. Second, which is most important, we didn't hear any negatives about Ramadan.
Yes.
While he's there. That's mean while he's in the UK, he start to adapt. This is a good step for him. My advice, don't come back. Even he's not playing as a main player, but he need to continue what he's doing. And every time he's participating, he's doing well. So I think he's in a good step. Maybe it's not the perfect step, but it's a good step. There is a surprise actually about Ramadan that one of the names nominated to be in AC Roma was Ramadan.
Yeah.
So he was one of the names if Salah himself is not interested in to play there, that Ramadan can be there.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the person knows that his talent.
But what's interesting in what you're doing is don't come back.
Yeah.
Meaning, for example, you want him to follow the steps of Zidane.
Yeah, that's true.
But Zidane did not end well. In my humble opinion, he did not end well.
Agree, because this is individual profile. Zidane was doing very well in Germany. And Borussia Dortmund, and they have a good reputation. But a lot of players, as you mentioned, they get a change in mentality and psychology when they go to Europe and find the life is different.
Yeah.
Till now, Salah is doing well, and I think he's in the stage of having a family. So family in Europe will support him a lot to be committed.
You mean Ramadan?
Sorry, Ramadan, yeah.
Okay.
So this is something that's supporting him to be there. Until now, we didn't find any, I can say, bad things from him in terms of behavior. He needs to have the experience there, and he needs to try. And if he played more, I think he will move up in the Premier League, which is something I don't think it's easy to adapt to it. So I'm not saying that what he's doing now is something bad. No, he did at least in the duration he played very well, and I think he can move to the next step.
And he earned a lot of admiration,
yes,
whether
exactly.
from the coaching staff
yes.
He has, or the fans of his team, or even his teammates.
Yes.
As you've kindly mentioned, we have not heard anything wrong about him.
Yeah, and most important that he will come again for the African Cup, and an African Cup. It's
this
a
was my
golden
coming
chance.
question.
Yes.
Regarding the professionals in general and their inclusion into our national team. Of course, this is great to have all those players. We do have Hector Cooper, I think, named 11 from the professionals. We have starting from Mohamed Salah to Amr Warda. 11 players.
Yes.
Don't you think that this is too much?
It's too much, yeah. It's too much, and sometimes it's not fair for the people playing in Egypt, actually. I don't know actually why Cooper doing it like that. Maybe he's interested to collect the people having an international experience in playing, but this is not the main
I'm sorry, we
point.
are going to speak about Cooper in detail. But let's move to our third name, which is the veteran goalkeeper, Assam Kamaluddin Tawfiq El-Hadari, the 15th of January 1973, meaning in just 2 weeks from now, Assam El-Hadari is going to turn 44.
Yeah.
A phenomena.
Yeah.
Would you please elaborate?
From my opinion, and maybe the people maybe don't like that, Assam El-Hadari is a card. You can play in it. If you win, you will win everything. But if you lose, everybody will play in game. So the Cooper and the team, they need to decide. We're going to use this card or not, because you need to be very careful. Maybe Assam is doing extremely nice, but do you think that he will continue? This is an important question. And you are, as a responsible person, you are putting the risk. If you gain, everybody will talk positively about you. If you fail, no one will be mercy for you.
Sure.
It will be a big mistake, because Assam doing perfect with our national team, and when he returned back to Digla, and he actually for 10 days, I can understand that such type of 10 days in psychology-wise, he needs to prepare himself to return back. Which is something very positive. I liked what he did. He knows what he's doing. But at the end of the day, we're going to a real competition.
Tell you something. This season in specific for the Egyptian Premier League is very different.
Yes.
Why? We don't have weeks, we do have rounds.
Yes.
Meaning every 3 days,
Match.
we do have a match.
Yeah.
And for Assam El-Hadari, or for any other player, by the way, this is very exhausting.
Yeah, that's right.
And very tough. And I think that many of the players included into the national squad would fear about this exhaustion and about injuries.
Yes.
And I think Assam is included into this.
Yeah.
So don't you think that all these things are gathered or struggling into his mind when he is thinking about the coming period, which is going to be that tough in the ACN qualifications?
Yeah, that's true. You're exactly right. He's a smart guy. He's preparing himself mentally and physically to be ready for this. But I have a very major concern here because we are using the easy solution. Assam is the easy solution for Cooper and the team. How? What exactly I mean in that? What I mean that I have three: Shenawi, Hadri, and Sharif. My job as a head of coach to prepare the three to be fit, forget what they're doing with their clubs, and make one of them main. But he's not doing that, and this is my point of view about that. They're using the easy card, which is Assam Hadri. Assam is wow, put him. What about your role in preparing Sharif or preparing Shenawi? Make him as a hero and make him play. Why? Because their ego will support you, their fitness, and a lot of things supporting you in that.
But don't you think that this is the case when it comes to all the goalkeepers worldwide? I mean, when Cassius was Cassius, he was there. When Buffon was there. Yeah. When Neuer was there. I mean, we are not going to think even about the alternative or the substitute if the big name is already there and is already fit. I think the goalkeeping position is unique in this.
Yeah, I can agree to, but not fully, because we are paying a salary for this, for the coach, to make the preparation for that. At the end of the day, we need to win. But be careful, because if we fail, it will be a big mistake. We're talking about it from now, because he's doing, I can say, type of silly mistake. He's great in terms of his achieving with the national team. Is he's continuing that? Where is the replacement? Why are you not preparing the second? In the past, especially with Nagy, he was the person who was able to do that. But it seemed to be that there's a one-man show, or someone controlling the show. Yeah. So he's not taking a full control in that. He can prepare Sharif to be in perfect, and he can prepare Shenawi. This is the role, actually, of the coach. It's not about only how he plays.
By the way, this is what I've heard from Captain Ahmed Nagy, the head coach of our goalkeepers. But he said something which was, for me, a little bit weird. He was asked about, as you've kindly mentioned, the standard of Assam al-Hadri in Wadi Digle and to what extent it's going to affect his choice, Nagy's choice of Assam al-Hadri to be his first choice. He said that I do have another perspective, and this is not the standards or the criteria I choose upon.
Can he share with us the criteria? This is my point of view.
I don't know.
If you have your criteria, again, you are the responsible guy. We will follow you because you are responsible. If you gain all the sum, everybody will say you are perfect. But if you fail, no one will give you any...
one.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the point, very important point about him.
Yes. Taking you to one of the big names we have, or the last name we have in football, Hector Cooper. This veteran old guy responsible for our national team who is going to gather all the previous names. Why? Hector Cooper has a very tough job. And whenever there is no fans, the case is also more difficult even for him. In Egypt, we do not permit or we do not accept apologies even if we lose a friendly.
Yeah.
So I think the guy is suffering in a way. Yes. How do you see his mission here? How do you see his selections? And how do you see his tactics, putting into consideration that he does not care that much about performance, he cares about the 3 points.
Agree.
And that's it.
Agree. But
with or against?
I am against him, not because we don't like him, because recently, the pressure you're talking about from the media, from the fans and all that, is something you are paid for. Let us talk professional about that.
Yeah.
Because before you have a job, we explain to you everything about the job. We are 90 million and everybody fan of the football, everybody have an opinion, blah, 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 and the media and everything. So it's not something new for you. Recently, he's dealing with an ego with the media, and after he did well,
against Ghana,
he started to have his own ego. He needs to be careful because when he's going to African Cup, it's really a challenge.
Sure.
It's a big competition. And if you're not up to it, what do you think Egyptians expect? Expect us to return with the African Cup. So your job is not easy. You need to be careful with that. And he's a person, sometimes he's not listening. He's saying that I'm the responsible guy, and he starts to...
That's exactly what he said in, I think, the last 2 press conferences.
Yes, exactly. And he became a guy who's talking with an ego language even. So this is my decision, and this is what I'll do. I don't need, actually, one of the questions he answered that I don't need anybody to ask me again about...
my choices.
My choices, especially Hussam Ghali. So, no, your job is to accept that. And as a mature guy, you need to explain professionally, and you can say, this is my role. I think someone needs to talk to him before the next competition, and his choices, and his trust in his assistant, because at the end of the day, it's not your own national team. We give you the responsibility, but at the end of the day, you are achieving, I can say, with individual talent.
Look, I'm not defending him, but there is a lot of problems or obstacles on the way. What happened in the last 2 weeks regarding the EFA competitions committee and the perplexing dates and what we are going to do with our Egypt Cup, with the how much time do we need for the preparations of the national team, so we should stop all the other local competitions, all these things, I don't think that he is that much acquainted with or used to.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you accepted the job, do it. And something is interesting, he asked for 40 days.
Yeah.
It's too much, from my opinion, it's too much. 40 days is a very long period to have such time. A lot of, maximum from my opinion, maybe 25, but 40 is too much. So at the end of the day, you get all what you need.
I do remember well that the Algerian national team gathered before going to the World Cup just for 2 weeks.
Exactly, exactly. So it's 40 days, you are getting your dreams.
Yes.
And you need to be responsible for this choice, because 40, they are in competition, it's something is not good or bad, it's your choice, because 40 days to be out is too much. At the end of the day, it's his responsibility, it's his decision, and we are supporting him, but we are waiting the result at the end of the day.
We are going to leave football here.
Okay.
And we are going to move to someone else who was behind the smile of many people far from football.
Yeah.
Marwan Ragab. Marwan Ragab, he worked in very, very tough conditions, very talented players, but time was not that much enough for him. Many players were gathered just for him because they were really in love with his tactics, with his style, with his way of dealing with his men. And he had a dream, and at least he reached some of his dreams.
Yes.
Marwan Ragab, the head coach of our national team of handball.
Yes.
How do you see his achievement in 2016?
Actually, till now, he's going in a very good direction, going in a very good track. And he's getting experience with number of fans, and this something is very nice. I think he's a potential talent coach that we can rely on him, especially he's a young guy.
Young?
Yeah. Giving him a kind of exposure and relying on him and making him different profile. Now he's a person moved from a player to a coach.
Yeah. This was my question, by the way. To move from being a player to a coach in relatively a short period is not an easy task.
Yes, that's true.
But to have all those players surrounding him and believing in him, this is a success in itself.
That's true, that's true. He's a person I can consider as a down-to-earth. He's able to engage with them. Most important for him to move to the next step in his career, to get, I can say, more education in what he's doing. Learning about psychology, having a different, maybe he understands football, but, sorry, handball. But handball is not the only thing about making him a real international coach. I see his potential, and 2016 was something is lovely. We talk about Hussam and cope in a different way. But for him, I think it was a good year.
No, Marwan Ragab, when he achieved the African Champions League for handball and take it here in Egypt and defeating Tunisia more than once, and we do have a lot of bad experiences regarding Tunisia, and now preparing for the World Cup and now being there for international camps to be prepared for that. We did not lose hope. Unfortunately, we did not make it that good in the Rio Olympic Games.
That's true.
And we were expecting a lot from them with big names in our national team, from Ahmad Lahmar to... we do have Kabonga, we do have Karim Hindawi, we do have a lot of names, and they are all great, if you permit me to say so.
That's true.
But how we can differentiate between being on top of the African level and to know well where we are in the international level.
That's true. This is exactly his profile, and what I'm trying to explain is that he can achieve in this environment, in Egypt with the players and all that. But to be a real coach, you need to understand more about the fitnesses, about the psychology of the player, about the types of training, and he should have a better support team. My opinion is that we can rely on him, but not with his current profile. He needs to develop or search for a solid guy. This is the point. And 2016 for him was a very good experience to move to the next step. But it's different from individual to another. Marwan is a person who is self-motivated, he's trying to engage. By the way, Hindawi mainly, he was talking very high about him. Because he's saying there's a person motivating us.
About him and about Hamad al-Naqib.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. So he's a person trying to play this role. Going to international competition, it needs a change in the profile. It needs a different type of engagement. It needs a different type of preparation for the travel, because everything now becomes a science and become a management itself. You can do it in Egypt, where you're people close to their families and fans. But when you go, and you are exactly right, when they went to Brazil for Rio de Janeiro, they didn't perform as we expect. He had a good lesson and he had a bad lesson. But at the end of the day, we would like to thank him for what he did in 2016, but he needs to learn. Because in 2017, it will be in or out. If you are in this place and you continue in this place, you don't have, because another fail, I think you'll be out.
God forbids.
Yeah.
Number 6, Ihab Abdurrahman. I decided to have Ihab Abdurrahman in this list, not because of his achievement, but because he was really a name who was ringing a bell. Which was very important, very, who made the case of this doping issue erupting and just turned our attention this way. Javelin champion, who did great on the African level, on the international level, and we were expecting a medal from him, and just 10 days before going to Rio de Janeiro, he is banned, and because of what? Doping. It was a shock, and unfortunately, it was a shock not only to the Egyptians, but to the even Arab and African world. How do you see this case? Whose responsibility is this? I mean, which name I should blame?
To be honest, while we don't have such type of system in Egypt for the stars we have, the individual himself was trying to make it happen in the right way, and he was defending his position. I can't blame Ihab 100%, but I can't blame him. His assistant and the way he was acting with them. Because Ihab, to the last second, he was defending his position. And if we go to the reality, I'm sorry to say he's guilty. So at the end of the day, it's about everybody around Ihab himself, and Ihab is first. It's a very bad lesson for him 2016. And I think he needs to learn from that a lot, because I don't know if he will have a chance again or not.
This was my coming question. We are talking about 2 years.
Yes.
2 years.
2 years, but we will...
Ihab is 27, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Meaning that if he is going to be able to compete once again, meaning when he is 29, of course he has a chance, inshallah. But don't you think that this is a very harsh lesson? 2 years to be banned?
And the most important, it's very harsh and it's different from individual to another. If we are serious in making it happen, it will happen. But it needs a lot of support from everybody around him. And it needs a strategy for that, to manage the 2 years. And it's happened before, and the people succeeded. So he's not...
Happened a lot, by the way.
It's happened a lot. But 2 years, as you mentioned, is too much. But already we are talking about 2 years, almost 6 or 7 months is already passed of it. So we are close to achieve that. My opinion is that we need to have a strategy for him. Forget the past. The past is painful, but we need to learn from it. We need to learn that the player himself, he needs to understand what he's taking from the medicine. And his assistant need to understand that, the doctor. It's not by luck. It's nothing in this life by chance. And we can defend. And I didn't see a lot of interviews for Ihab after what's happened. At the time of itself of the case, he was defending. I hope now he learned the lesson. Because if you keep defending to this moment, I think you are losing time.
Sure.
You need to confirm what you done, and let's go forward in that. It's very important for the individual to learn from that, because we have a talent. And this kind of talent we can gain from him. But it's very
and
important
to learn from the experiences of the others.
Yes.
Maria Sharapova, what is she doing with her meldonium issue, for example? Michael Phelps himself, he was accused with marijuana. This is not a doping issue, but it's even worse than that.
But the time was shorter, as I remember,
Sure, it's shorter. But I mean, I should first admit that I was wrong.
Exactly.
That there was such a big mistake, and this is something which is not going to be repeated. And tell you something, there's another very important issue with the scientific assistant of Ihab Abdurrahman. He's Russian.
Yeah, that's right.
And WADA, the second report which was released, the second and last report which was released about Russia, it really accused more than 1,000 Russian athletes to be involved into this doping scandal.
That's true.
1,000.
1,000, yes. And the interesting part that we need to think about what is around our stars. Very important, because we're talking about that a lot, and we lost almost a golden medal, maybe, I don't know. In this
a medal, a medal by any means, a medal.
Because we don't have such of management for those people.
Yes.
And sometimes they don't know what they are players. They are not managers for themselves. And
sure,
that's big
unfortunately, by the way. And taking you to number 7. Number 7 is the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is Abir Khalil. Abir Khalil is a weightlifter, and she participated in 2012 London Olympic Games, but unfortunately she didn't make it to the podium to receive a medal. But legally and formally, she is now an Olympic medalist because of this doping issue, which hit another one or others, and so she moved up, and now Abir Khalil is an Olympic medalist of 2012 Olympic Games. The other side of the coin.
And the other side is lovely, because if you are talking about a real people making success in 2016, we should include her name.
Yes,
I believe,
in my humble opinion. This is my choice.
No, that's extremely nice from you, and extremely right in terms of business, because and sports, because very simple. Because very important. It's not by luck. We need to understand that. Everybody think it's a good luck. No, it's not a good luck. She tried hard and she made a success, and they got reward her in 2016. If you're talking about the 3 guys making medals in 2016, her name should be included, because she already scored a medal. She's a very successful story, and to be honest, what she achieved is something lovely, and she should be in the stake with the 3 winners as well, because she's equal to them.
But by the way, she was about to give me a heart attack by then, because in one of her other trials, she had such a minute of fainting or something like that. So she was about to break her neck, something like this, God forbid. But thank God she became fine right after that, but it was a shock. Anyhow, Abir, congratulations. You are now an Olympic medalist, and no one is going to deprive you from this honor again. To number 8, and to another Olympic medalist, and she is another female, and she is another wonderful, nice, great model of an athlete. Hidayah Malik. Hidayah Malik and Taekwondo.
Hidayah is lovely because, first, we can't forget that she's carrying 2 nationalities. And she preferred to play with our nationality, which is something, I think she's Egyptian-American, as I remember. So we actually, personally, I like such type of passion, because it's easy to play to another country, and for sure they're trying to attract her. Till this moment, we'd like to thank her for what she achieved. We'd like to thank her when she speaks. By the way, I consider her as a good ambassador, because Hidayah is a person who can speak to the media, is a person who can make a kind of advertising to this country, and the person can make an influence. Converting a sports person to a person who's making a success in the life for others, I think it's something we need to work and think about. Hidayah is one of those people. We have 3 actually in 2016, but Hidayah is an exceptional in that. It's not only about making a success in the sports, but making a change in the life of the people. And I think she's this person who can make such type of a king. In 2016, from my opinion, Hidayah should be in the top. Actually 4 names, and Hidayah one of them in the top, because he make a real success, and she believe in that, and she hired a good coach, and they have a very healthy relation together, and she invested on herself. So we're talking about a real success story. We're talking about a person's strike.
And because of this, Hidayah Malag deserve to be in this short break, and we are going to be back right after this.
My name is Hidayah Malag. I've been playing Taekwondo since I was 6 years old. I started first in my club, and then I went to the national team. I played with the junior national world championships. I played Arab games, African games, and then I qualified for the Rio Olympic Games. I chose Taekwondo because my brother used to play, so I used to watch him play Taekwondo, and then I followed in his footsteps. He played, and I continued playing Taekwondo. There's 2 ways to qualify to the Olympics. The first way, you can qualify through the continent qualifications. There's African qualifications, and there's the Olympic ranking. So I qualified from the Olympic ranking if I'm from the first 6 in the world. So I was number 5, and then after I played the Grand Prix, I was the 3rd in the world, so 3rd in the Olympic ranking. So I got qualified through the ranking. My family's always supported me. They were next to me in all championships, encouraged me to continue and to give my best, even if I lose. They want me to continue and put more effort and everything in training. And they've traveled with me almost everywhere to see me in championships. I just want everyone to give. I want to do your best in everything you do, and leave the result on God, and He will give you everything. Taekwondo now is a part of my life. I've been training all my life Taekwondo, so it's helped me improve in everything. If you try to be successful in your sport, you try to be successful in everything else, even if in your education. You try to balance between education and sport, and if you do your best in both, you can succeed in both. And Taekwondo now it teaches you respect, discipline, and everything.
Come back to Sarah Samir, another female and another Olympic medalist who did also great. And for me, it was not expected because she is only 18 and maybe less than that.
Yes.
And she achieved a medal.
Yes.
She had this kind of being tough enough to compete and to be included in a very tough, strong competition among the big names of the game.
Yes.
While, as I said, she's a teen, only 18 years old.
Actually, I have a lot of passion to Sarah mainly and Hidayah because I like the concept of females achieving in the life.
Yeah.
And in Arab countries, sometimes we have concern in that, but those people scored in 2016 better than the man. This is the concept actually we sometimes miss. And in all budgeted, they are not considered all the time. Sarah is a good example that we have a talent. And those talents, sometimes they need to be polished and they need to be trained. She's coming from a totally different background.
Yes.
She don't have any support. She's using a very basic tools, but she's achieving. So it's a very good example that in Egypt, if we focus, we return back to the same concept. If we focus in specific games, with matching with our profile as a country, as a people, we can make. Cuba did it before, Angola did it before, a lot of countries. All African focus mainly in the races. So we need to focus on that. And this is a very good example that we can achieve in that and bring it. If you're talking about Olympic Games, this is a strategy you need to follow. And Sarah, seriously, she is a lovely story to tell.
Yes.
Because the person coming from a very basic background and she grow and she's trying to achieve. She was saying that I never believed that I can achieve. And that's because she don't have analysis and numbers telling her that you can be with the competition. Something is good because she achieved, and sometimes it's bad because she don't know the competition and the ranking and her profile compared to the competitor and all that. If you're talking about 2017 budget for the sports in Egypt, we need to focus in this way. It needs to be very focused and it needs to be managed in this way. And Sarah is a good example. She can make a change in the country in what she achieved. I believe in that.
Same to be implemented on Mohammed Ihab?
Yeah, but Mohammed is different because Mohammed is the only one known before he travels that he can achieve.
Yeah.
The others are surprises. So he get a kind of support, not perfect support, I totally agree, but at least his name was in the list that we expect him. But Hidayah and Sarah was different. We are not somehow...
No, I was expecting Hidayah to clinch
that's true. Sure. But we are not sure. Mohammed was getting a different support because he's one of the potential names that... If you're saying
By the way, just two or 3 weeks ago, he returned from Qatar with also the bronze medal in one of the World Cups.
Yeah, that's extremely nice.
No, I was expecting from him more than the bronze, by the way.
Yeah, that's true, but at least he's keeping his performing. This something is healthy, and he's not a young guy. I don't know if he have a chance to play in the next Olympic Year or not.
No, he's young, relatively young.
Yeah, but I hear that he's speaking about the next step, if he's going to contribute or not. Mohammed himself, if he's achieving about that, we are talking about a good case that it's good, but sometimes it's bad because we don't have a real numbers or figures about our talent. We don't have the inventory about that. And when we send our prayer, a lot of countries, they know exactly their expectation. And sometimes they achieve average 90%. In Egypt, we don't have that. Like, for example, country like China or USA, they are just playing maybe 10% less, 10% more.
Yeah.
But there is not a lot of surprise. Usually you have surprise. Why? Because we don't have a system to measure that. In
my humble opinion, because we think that the 4 years between an Olympic game and the other are too much.
Too much, yeah.
Despite the fact that those 4 years are nothing if it's going to be compared with building a champion.
Yes. Yes.
For example, if I want to have an Olympic medalist now, I should think about not the coming Olympic Games, but the one after.
Exactly.
And because of this, 4 years are nothing.
Yeah. My opinion remains that the main challenge that we are not focused. If we have 10 pounds, and if you're spending 10 pounds everywhere, you gain nothing. This is the problem. We need to be very clear. We need such a strategy to be very clear. We are focused in doing that.
But it's not only about money, if you permit me to say so. It's about the eyes behind any camera, the scouters. Who is going to be included into our national team or who should be there? Because there are a lot of talents all over Egypt, but nobody is going to them to discover them or to take them from their tiny towns or villages. We are only focusing on what's going on in Cairo and Alexandria, in some of our big cities.
Close to Cairo as well.
But what about Upper Egypt? What about the Delta governorates? Are you telling me that there are no talents in these places?
What I mean by focusing our objective, we consider the Olympic game as a good event for the people to travel and enjoy the time. And we are sending a lot in all sports, in all games. We don't need to do that.
Sure.
What's our objective from Olympic game? To present Egypt? I'm sorry, no.
Not anymore.
Exactly. So we need to be focused. After 4 years, we are just participating in 4, 5 games. That's all. And we have a strategy to do that. It means that the others are not permitted? No, they are permitted if they have exceptional case. But this is our strategy. We are focusing will make us succeed in that. That's my point of view.
My hopes to have squash and karate
for sure.
in the Olympic Games.
Mainly squash.
I know that we are going to collect maybe every medal, every single
That's true, especially in squash.
Yeah, and since we are talking about karate, we are going to go to Jayana Farouk. Jayana Farouk is a model in herself.
Yes.
and she achieved a lot, and I think that she's also expected to have a lot to come. I mean, many World Cups, many categories.
She's still very young.
And she's still very young. And you're talking about universities, you're talking about World Cups all over the world, about Egyptian, African, international levels. Jayana is doing great, and she's very much focusing. The word you've mentioned before more than once, Scott, this is very important, or it's a key word to be accurate. And she knew well that this is her life now. She is only thinking about the coming match. And I had the honor to have her in a score sheet. She said that she is thinking about each match as if it is a cup or a title in itself. And I think that this is the main reason behind her success. If you want to elaborate on
you mentioned something that's very interesting and lovely about the individual, and I'm totally agreeing that. She's a potential star, but at the main point, when I'm reading all the interviews with her, she's mentioning that she lacks the kind of support. She's mentioning that now. So I'll return back to the same point. Our strategy needs to be focused with such type of talent. It means that it's not about money. In my opinion, sometimes money is playing an important role. Why? Because if I have a budget and I need to invest in those people, if I distribute it everywhere, I get nothing. Like giving pens to everybody, no one will make the achievement. But focusing on specific people with, I can say, a management strategy for that, this will make us achieve. And our ranking for that, for sure, it should be included before the psychological and physical assessment, before we rely on them, because we're putting the country money at the end of the day. If we have a huge budget, like a country like USA or China, it will be different. But in Egypt, if we have a limited budget, it's very important. He's focused as an individual. But to have a full formula, as I can say, why in Egypt sometimes, a lot of times, that individuals only can succeed because they have personal initiatives. It should be a system itself. And the system will bring the talent.
They are considered exceptions till the moment. And this is a big catastrophe, a big dilemma, because there should not be exceptions here. We should have a system, as you've kindly mentioned, and this system will produce a lot.
Exactly. If you have a system, everybody will be attached to the system, will make the success. But the system should be, you need a strategic person, leader, saying that, let's focus for after 4 years. We will announce now. This is our thought. We don't need to announce names to make a competition, but at least we'll go, for example, for karate, we'll go for handball, we'll go for football, for repetition, for example. We are okay with that. So let's have a direction. This is the budget. Because the problem that there is a fighting between all of them to be there, like we're going to fun. I'm sorry, it's not fun. It's country repetition. Every 4 years, we're sending a lot, and we're gaining minimum. If we compare to, this is very interesting analysis here. How many persons travel and our achievement? This is called return on investment. If I send 100 and one gain, nothing. But other countries, they are sending 2, and they're 2 succeeding. So this is the real achievement. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Amen to that. To our last name, I also have the honor to have her, and for me, she is a role model, Amani Khalil. She's pretty, she's cute. I mean, when you look at her, you would never imagine that she is the Iron Man champion. More than 180 kilometers, biking, running, swimming, and the first Egyptian in this age category.
That's true.
She is 50. Amani Khalil, when she did it not only for herself, I think. It's, as I said, a role model for Egyptians, for Arabs, for women all over the world. When it comes to sports, when it comes to determination, when it comes to will, Amani Khalil should be one of the icons we have, if you have heard about her.
First, I would like to thank you and the director, because you're getting such type of talent to us. And this is something for the people not interested in sport or they don't know them, because you're taking care of them. And this is something seriously lovely, because we miss that. We miss that, and the way we produce them or the way we present them is not the right way. It should include a kind of preparation, so those people can be a role model for others and can present it. It's extremely nice story.
Her medals, by the way.
Yeah, it's lovely. Actually, it's lovely to see that and to talk about her. And this is the direction that we need to do. Such type of people need to be polished I can say. And this is actually what you're doing with the team, that polishing them is something that's very important. Everywhere in the world this happens. In Europe sometimes we don't have that a lot. But it's an extremely good story. And again, 2016, I'd like to say congratulations for everybody, and mainly for the female who make our face pretty in the world and making succeed, especially in the Olympic game, and even the potential females actually ready for the next step. It's something we need to think about, and something we need to invest, and something we need to analyze. Everything can be better with a kind of analysis why this happened.
And with management.
And with management, for sure.
When I was asking him about the main reasons behind her success, he said mainly time management.
Yes, that's right.
She is an accountant, she's working in such an international bank, and she is a mother of 2 kids. They are not kids anymore. And she's, thank God, a successful wife. She has a lot in her life, and in the same time she's running, she is enjoying herself, she is going to marathons, and she participates in many events all over the world. I mean, she is doing what she likes with time management and with knowing well how to enjoy herself.
That's true. And she never complained, and she never give excuses. The people making success in
she
life.
She never made excuses, by the way.
We will achieve it, we'll achieve it. This is the concept.
That's it. What about our choices?
I think the people went to Rio de Janeiro and returned back with the medal, that, from my opinion, the real champion. Because this year, we don't have an Olympic game every year, and those people achieve for us. With all my respect for football players, they make a good propaganda for us, or repetition, in a good way. But if you're talking about the people we need to take care and to consider it the person of the year, I'm talking about 4 names who's already achieving Olympics medals. This is my opinion.
Mohammed Misbah, our sports analyst, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this very special episode. And once again, Happy New Year.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Happy New Year for everybody.
Well, by this we come to the end of our very first episode of 2017. Inshallah, we are going to be meeting with you same time on Nile TV International next week. On behalf of Dr. Muhammad Rabia and Amr Fathallah, father of nice, lovely Lina, happy birthday. And the staff of our studio, Studio 35, and myself, Nermeen Abdurrahman, many thanks for watching always and forever. Assalamu alaikum.